Hey guys, it's quote unquote your boy Ballface 8020 back with another great response video. In this video, I'm going to respond to the song "Brick in Your Face" by uh, I really rapper is the right word, I don't know, from my named Stitches from Miami-Dade County in Florida. And Stitches here, this song, it looks like it came out in 2014, so we're almost 6 years ago now. Um, and the It's an extremely black-pilled song, and it did have some success. You can see here that this video has got almost 30 million views. It had some success at the time, and I think even now some people still listen to it. But it really didn't have as much success as it could have, and I think it's because it was so ahead of its time. It was bad because what you have here is in 2014 this majorly black-pilled video, and it's before the black pill really blew up. So, I just want to go and but anyway, they also because it was before the black pill blew up, it caused the song to really be misinterpreted too. So, like to me, especially, I mean, maybe it's just one thing because this could be like hindsight benefit. Like, of course, to us now that we all know about the black pill and it's bigger now, it's like very easy to see the black pill themes now. And then maybe when it came out in 2014, 2015, 2016, people weren't as familiar with it, they didn't understand it. So, I'm just going to talk about it here and bring some things to light. And because it touches on some great themes, even though I think it mostly speaks for itself, but I also think it's worth adding some commentary because I haven't seen any black pill commentaries on it. I don't know if it's just because people have, missed it or what. So here we go.
Now what you gonna do with it? 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 Now what you gonna do with it?
Okay, the brick in your face, that's going to be actually the I don't know if you call it the chorus or the hook or whatever, but you see this is going to be really important later. So keep that in mind, the brick in your face.
What you gonna do with it? Now what you gonna do with it? I'll put that brick in your face. Now what you gonna do with it?
Okay, so we're starting off like right from the beginning. I put that brick in your face. So I think what's happening here is, and I think it's because he himself, you can tell from this video, is he's got a good frame and he's kind of a taller guy. But what he's trying to talk about is how society reacts to. I don't think he means short men, but for like more short cells, guys who are maybe like if you're built like Hank from what was that drug dealing show with the meth thing. From Breaking Bad. He's only 5'7", but he's got a big frame and stuff. So I think it's more just talking about short cells. And although I don't think the term was around then. And he's like, so society is just putting a brick in our face as shorter guys. And the reaction is basically, now what you going to do it. Like, you've been like, society gives us this brick in the face and just tells us to take it.
Now what you gonna do with it? Now what you gonna do with it? Better have my money when I come to collect.
That's another thing. I better have my money when I come to collect. And what he's saying here is that you have to. It doesn't really matter that you're short. The expectations for us, again, as shorter guys, and I'm not trying to have a pity party. I don't think he's trying to have a pity party for us either. It's just saying that like the expectations don't change. Everybody expects like nobody takes us seriously because we're shorter and stuff. We get constant mockery and then just told to just a joke. But it doesn't matter when they come to collect. You better have his money.
Better have my money when I come to collect. Pay up, pay up, pay up. I'll put that brick in your face. Now what you gonna do with it? Now what you gonna do with it? Now what you gonna do with it? Better have my money when I come to collect. Better have my money when I come to collect. Pay up, pay up, pay up. You better have my money when I come to collect. Pay up. I got a bullet in the chamber and it's ready to eject. Pop, 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 pop.
And this is again, he's saying, I got a bullet in the chamber and it's ready to eject. He's talking about just the violence that society has towards shorter. I think actually it's really towards short people in general. And this is, he was interviewed about this, and this is what he said. He said that that some people interpreted it as, just being towards short men, and he admitted that that was kind of the focus, and he said he almost felt bad about it because he said, really it's always considered acceptable to, I mean, short women, obviously they don't get it as bad as short men, but they get it too. And so he isn't talking about physical violence, although especially in the case of short women, they're maybe even more vulnerable to physical violence than just women in general. And unfortunately, there's still a lot of that. And again, as a shorter guy, sometimes there is physical violence, but I think that and he even said this. He was less talking about the physical violence, as tragic as it is, than is just like the sort of emotional and mental violence that happens against shorter guys. So we're gonna actually skip ahead a little here too. And that the trash bag is to show how short guys are just regarded as trash.
Pay up, pay up, pay up. You say you need 100 bricks, well, I'm the connect. I got it.
You need 100 bricks, and I'm the connect. Excuse me one second. Well, he was talking about, for the connect part, what he's talking about is how, like, sometimes, like, shorter guys will almost feel like they're missing something, like a part, like if you were like a Lego, like, and you took off his short legs and put on tall legs. So I think he's referring to that there. And then he said you need 100 bricks. That's also referring to Legos. I'm not really sure. I think he kind of got off track here. I think he was trying to like get into the Lego thing, like, talking about Legos, and then he wanted to relate that to the short thing. I mean, I think anytime you're doing something artistic, you're going to get like a little waylaid, so to speak. I don't think, so I don't think there was anything wrong with it. I just think that he was, kind of, he's just trying to use creative license, I guess. And actually, we'll see some more creative license here at the end.
In your face, now what you gonna do?
So you see that there, that's the guy's wearing the mask with Pinhead from Hellraiser. Hellraiser, you younger guys might not be aware of it, but it was this film based on this book called The Hellbound Heart, and by Clive Barker. And the book, it's a novella, not really a novel. And it's one of my favorite 5 books of all time. It's really good, and I would highly recommend you check it out. And it deals with, like, just about like desire and like where does pain end and pleasure begin and vice versa and stuff like that. And so what he's talking about here is that, it's 2 things. One is, the Pinhead character is kind of associated with hell, although in the book that's not really true, but it is kind of more in the movies, and which is probably, I mean, he probably hasn't even read the book. In fact, I think he even said he hasn't. But in the movies, it is associated with hell. So he's referring, first of all, is like to the hell that short men live in every day in our society, and then he's also talking about these, just kind of a sort of a meta commentary on society, on about like how without pain there is no pleasure. So without short guys, there's no such thing as tall guys, because if everybody's tall, nobody is. And as for the white stuff that's getting thrown around, I'm not really sure what that has to do with anything. I think that's probably just something that the director put in just to, like, for reasons like that. It does, but anyway, it's it's interesting thing is the reaction to the video is kind of a black pill itself. And I was reading this interview with Stitches, and he was saying just that. He was saying that I don't have the exact quote here, but he was saying that, like, as an artist, you always you have to accept as an artist that once you put something out there, it doesn't, you have no control over the interpretation, and what you meant it to be doesn't mean anything. People are going to interpret it and use it however they want. So this is going to be hard to believe, but you can look it up if you don't believe me. I'm not good enough editor to show you the evidence of it, but people, it's hard to, I can't even take this seriously because what I'm saying is so insane. Some people actually thought that this song, like, had to do with dealing cocaine, if you can believe that. And it seems like it's not completely random, though, because apparently he himself, when he was younger, had done some drug dealing and cocaine. And he had mentioned that, he was actually, he had been surprised about the reaction because, like, I don't see anything in this video that has anything to do with cocaine or any type of drug dealing. But he was saying that it was that, he had actually been kind of hurt because, he was, really ashamed of, what he had done when he was younger. He's that he accepted it and as part of his experience, but he, it was something that it was a part of his life that he was done with and had no interest anymore. And he was trying to talk, drop this black pill message, and all because of one mistake in his past. And it doesn't matter like how much effort he put into cleaning himself up and like presenting an image. People just say like, oh, well, this guy's has a drug conviction, or he's been involved in drugs. So yeah, of course the video is about cocaine, even though there's nothing in the song related to cocaine or drugs at all. So the and I think and he said that like as hurt as he was actually kind of amused and even happy, because it was itself kind of a black pill about how like once people get into seeing you a certain way, there's nothing you can do to change it. You can do everything. Like, I mean, look at somebody like Stitches. He did everything right to like break out of this image that he's some drug dealer, or just some kind of low life or something like that. But society still sees him that way because of like one mistake he made when he was younger. So yeah, I mean, it is kind of a black. I mean, look, I've always said that none of my videos are meant to be hopeless. So my reaction is more like, well, just fuck those people. Like it doesn't. It's true that you can't change how people are going to view you, but it's not a big deal. I think that accepting that you can't change it though is part of the process of seeing how it doesn't matter, and that your value ultimately isn't determined by this. And I think that you can see the way Stitches has reacted to this. That he's gone on and continued to produce. But look, you may not like the music and stuff, and that's fine. But be somebody like me, like take Bruno Mars, right? Like I actually dislike everything Bruno Mars has ever made. I mean, I think he's written a song that I like that some artists performed, but all Bruno Mars' stuff I dislike. But I can know from like a technical perspective and from a performance perspective, he's like I was about to say he's the best in art, like the best out there right now, but really probably Stitches is better. The other than Stitches, he's the best, and he is Stitches isn't as commercially successful as Bruno Mars, probably because of the conviction, and probably because I think that there really is even now still some societal resistance to the black pill, which is mainly what he's interested in talking about. But I'm really digressing here. The point is, it doesn't matter what anybody thinks. Let's just, I mean, I do promote being realistic, and I'm interested in the black pill of that, but I'm not interested in the black pill in terms of being hopeless. And I think Stitches himself is really against that message of being hopeless. So that's all for now, and I'll see you guys in the next.